A problem I always had was, how do I set goals for myself and trust that I will accomplish them in the future? The solution that I found is to develop a relationship between my past, present, and future selves, and the ability to trust myself in the future to do the goals that I set today. In this video, I will show you how to develop that framework and the benefits of developing that. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sean Jones. I'm a former mechanical engineer. I'm now a computer scientist pursuing a PhD in computer architecture. Okay, so to begin, we need to understand that there are three versions of you. There is your past, your present, and your future. So let's first look at the past. The past is set in stone. Obviously, we know that you can't go back and change the past. But the important thing is past you is the version of you that got you here today. And so just in the simple fact that you are living and breathing today, past you deserves a big thank you. Because if your journey has been anything like mine, life is not easy, and it does a really good job of throwing struggles at you just when you think you're getting on top of things. And so thank your past self for all the work that they've done. So I want to also draw a diagram so we can kind of understand this. So let's do this axis is our time, and this axis is kind of just the direction that you can go in life, right? So if we are here, right, this is our location currently. Our path that our past self followed probably was winding, it was not a direct path to get to wherever you are today. Certainly wasn't for me. So our path probably looks something like this to get to here. That's your past self, set in stone, can't change it. Now, the next self is your future self. And the future self is really cool because there are limitless possibilities to what your future self can become. If you decided today that you wanted to become an astronaut and you devoted every waking moment of your life to that for the next 10 years, chances are you could probably get to a point where you could become an astronaut. So the future has infinite possibilities to us. So if we're continuing with this, the future has all of these different winding paths that we can go down. And all of them lead to different places, right? The only thing that's constant is that time is going to pass and you're going to move into one of these futures. And so that brings us finally to the present. And the present is really the only time right now, it's the only time that we have influence over. So your decisions now, right, are influenced by all of the past decisions that you've made. Your position now is influenced by all the past decisions that you've made that have gotten you here. And what you decide to do now can take you down any one of these paths. But in order to do that, you have to make a decision. And an important thing is even deciding not to do anything, if you decide to just sit on your ass, that's still a decision. Time is still going to pass, and you're going to go down one of these paths. So that's your three different paths. And now I think it's important that I take a moment to wipe off the whiteboard, and then we will talk about why taking small steps in one direction, day over day, can lead you to radically different outcomes. I'm going to draw another graph, okay? So graphs make sense to me, and we'll keep them simple. So with this graph, again, our x-axis is time. And this y-axis will say quality of life. So here we can imagine anything below this zero line is a low quality of life. Anything above this zero line is a high quality of life. And for now, for simplicity's sake, let's say that this zero line is where you're at now. Maybe not the best, maybe not the worst. And you can adjust your zero line as necessary. But let's imagine two selves, right? The first self in this example is going to be the self that chooses to take one small positive step each day. And then the second self is going to be the self that doesn't take that positive step each day, just kind of sits through life. And so the way that this works is when you initially start taking a small step in the right direction each day, it's not going to seem like a big difference is being made. If you start exercising, right, you're not going to see immediate results. It takes some time to actually see progress. But if you keep doing that progress, consistent progress stacked day over day compounds. So the more you do something, the more you get in return from it. So let's think about self A. Self A takes one positive step every single day, right? And initially, as time passes, there isn't a whole lot of change. But as time goes on, that change starts to stack. And eventually, it really starts to take off. The results that you get back from your efforts that you've put in compound. So now let's think about self B. Self B sits on their ass. They don't do anything. And as a result, they start off in the same point here. But as they continue to not do something, their path diverges and their quality of life goes down. This is kind of an idealized situation. If you hit everything you want to do every single day, your path might look like this. If you don't hit everything you want to do every single day, your path might look something like this. Chances are that your path is going to fall somewhere in the middle. But if you have a consistent effort to try and make positive steps in the right direction, as many days as you can, your path may look something like this, with some dips and some wobbles, but eventually trend towards the positive. I hope that this has demonstrated the importance of taking those small steps every day. And ultimately, you're going to be the one who decides what the small positive step you can achieve every single day is, right? If you're depressed right now, if you're really struggling, that small step may be as small as getting up and just taking a shower. Sometimes that's all you can muster, right? If you're doing pretty good, that small step may be going to the gym every day or every other day, for 45 minutes. Or it might be going and riding your bike. It could be getting outside. It can be anything that takes you closer to where you want to be. So now what I want to do is I want to provide you with a framework for how you can start stacking these small wins. And I also want to explain why, when you do things consistently over and over again, you start to get to a point where you can trust yourself to complete goals. And as a result, your present self, right, the one setting the goals right now, is soon going to become your past self. But when you're setting those goals, knowing that you're going to be, that version of you is going to be your past self, when you know that your future version is going to complete those goals, it's almost like a one-way handshake where your past self is reaching out to the future and shaking your future self's hand. It's saying, here's what we need to do. Here's the effort I'm doing today. I'm trusting you to do the effort that needs to continue to happen so that we can get to where we want to go. So here's a framework for that, right? As I mentioned before, I think it's really important to show your past self gratitude and to give your future self small goals that it can achieve. So every night, what I do is when I journal, I write out what the next day is going to be. So I write, tomorrow is Wednesday. And then I write my long-term goals. Right now, my long-term goals are growing this YouTube channel and getting better at video editing, posting every single day. So my long-term goals, right now we'll just keep it to a 3-month goal. My 3-month goal is, in 3 months, I want to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, and I want to have posted every single week, once a week. Obviously, I'm a little bit more verbose when I'm writing in my journal, but for the sake of brevity, I'm shortening things here. The next thing that you want to do is you want to figure out what your goals for the next day are that can move you closer to these 3 things, right? So for me, I do my best work early in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I hate getting up early, but when I get up early, I have this block of time before I have to go to work where I am highly productive, there's no distractions, and I can get a lot done. So because of that, I know that I need to get up early, so I get up early. So the first thing I do, and it's important to make check boxes because you get momentum from checking off these things each day. So the first thing I do, wake 5:30, right? That means as soon as I wake up, I've already completed one thing and I get to boom, check it off. Next thing I do, edit, and then obviously gym and 10,000 steps. I also am trying to hit 2,800 calories. So those are my 5 goals for the day, every single day. It's stupid, it's boring, it seems kind of repetitive, but doing just 5 simple things or 4 simple things, whatever series of simple things that you can accomplish every single day, doing them and writing them down so you have that sort of accountability from your past self to your future self That is what makes this work. And so then at the end of the day, so tomorrow is Wednesday. At the end of Wednesday, I'll come back to this. I'll say, yep, I woke up at 5:30. Yep, I edited. Yep, I went to the gym. And I'll check all of those off. And then I get to write down what I'm grateful for, right? This is thanking my past self for the work that they've put in. So today I went for a bike ride. I'm trying to hit the Norwegian 4x4. Kicked my ass. I don't know if I didn't get enough sleep or enough food, but I'm grateful I did it. So what I would say is I am grateful for my ride. And it's really important to show gratitude to your past self. I was a gifted student, and as a result, I always thought that the work that I did was never good enough. I'm very, very critical of my own production, my own work. And so this is one of the most powerful habits I've developed. Being kind to your past self, appreciating all of the work that your past self has done is far more healthy, and it helps you not get burnt out working at hard, challenging things. Because the reality is if you're doing all of these things, these are hard, challenging things, right? And if you're working towards a goal, that's a hard thing. And it is important to give yourself credit every single day for doing those hard things. So I hope that you can follow this framework, and I'll put a PDF down in the description with prompts for what your goals are, writing them out, and then a little bit of gratitude journaling. I suggest give this a try for a week at minimum, but if you can do a month, I'm really telling you, if you can stick to something for a month, you will be amazed by the positive impact that sticking to one thing for 1 month will get you. And again, sticking to this for a month, this can be your small step. And just remember that it stacks and eventually it goes exponential. And those exponentials are really powerful. So I hope this helped. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I have an excellent video about the flywheel effect, which talks about inertia and more importantly, kind of how you can stack this energy. And you can watch that here. Thank you so much. Have a good one.